Hey, I'm gonna make a phone call. Let me see. I'm waiting on some people to come into the chat. I'm gonna get started in about 10 minutes. So please come on in, join me. What I'm gonna do this evening is we're gonna talk about what happened today. And I'm gonna bring everything when I first started my lives, try to bring it all full circle. So y'all come on in if you're there. Please come on in. Hey Ayana. Hey Tasha. Thank you. Greetings to you. Hey Tasha, why don't you call some people right quick and tell them to join in? I want a lot of people on this one. You too, Ayana, call some people. I'm going to text somebody now, let them know I'm on live. Okay, thank you, Ayana. Thanks, Rodney. Hey, Renee. Cherry, hey. Coming on in, that's good. We're going to talk about some things. Let me text a couple people right quick, let them know I'm on. Because some of y'all not getting these live notifications and stuff, and it's kind of disheartening because I'm sure that it's throwing off the viewership a little bit. And, I want to get to the point to where I'm reaching a lot more people because this message needs to get out. But thank y'all. Y'all watch the race. Can't wait to hear the decode, and I know it. You're going to love it. This is a good one, y'all. Wait a minute. Okay. Hey, Empress Zena. Where you from, Zena? Yeah, y'all hit the like button, the share button, and the subscribe button, any other buttons you need. Hit them all up. I'm going to wait a few more minutes so some more people come in. I wish I had some background music. I probably do. Play one of these tracks that I produce. I don't know if y'all can hear, but I'm going to play it anyway. Let's see what happens. No, it ain't going to play. Got too much going on. Come on in. Come on in. Glorious Rising, Gracie. Darius, what's up? Atlanta in the house. Fort Worth, Texas. Y'all come on in. I need some more folk. Because I just, everybody talking about, I keep missing your live, and I'm so upset that I missed it. So I want to give y'all a chance to get in. But I appreciate, look, I've been getting a lot of good positive feedback from just about every show I posted. And I mean, the comments have been phenomenal, and I just want to thank each and every one of you. And I promise you, I may have had a total of 3 or 4 somewhat negative remarks. And, you're going to get that because some people, want to hold my hand to the fire and say, well, you said this was going to happen. You said that was going to happen. So, okay, that's fine. So tonight we're going to kind of get this thing where it needs to be so people can understand what's really happened. So I'm going to wait a few more minutes. I actually said I was going to go live at 7:45. So I was just trying to give y'all a little time to get in. Checking in from Birmingham, Alabama. Hey, Kellys. Belinda, greetings to you too. Peace and love from Connecticut. That's what's up. Thank you. Oh man, let me take a note because I know y'all been one hit me up about Indiana, and now they're talking about Memphis, and we're gonna make sure I'm making a note of that one so we can talk about that. Because you know what I said. It's been about a week ago, but we're gonna touch on it because we're gonna throw out these rituals. And I'm gonna give it a couple more minutes, y'all, and then we're gonna go ahead and get this party started. Hey, Wendy. Thank you. You know what? Let me take this time to read some of the people who did send me some cash apps. Let me start with Brenda Agboro. Thank you. Mary Vahel Marshall Lloyd, Kimberly Montgomery, Andrew Amaru Bowman, my good friend Louise Ponciano, Karen Cooper, Albert Campbell, thank you. Daryl Smith, Ariel Israel, and Angela Jackson. I'm just naming off a few. Saxon Palace, Carol Ann Hurt Roberts, thank you. Shirley Rodall, and if y'all didn't want your whole name out, I'm sorry, but I'm just so grateful. And I'm going to go into this other account and name off some of the people from there, so y'all don't feel like y'all got left out. And let me read off some of those names. Y'all think I should do just first names and not all the whole name? Let me undo just first name. Y'all know who you are when I call it out. It's taking forever to load though. Here it is. So I'm going to go with Linda Johnson. Oh, I said first name. Rachel, Sierra, Scott, Sharon, Helen, Wendy. Y'all know her by now. Kevin, Marva, Reginald, Tania, Jimmy, Sheila, Frank, Gloria, Sharon, Bernard, Nona, Raymond, Maxine, Jacqueline, April, Zena, Deborah, Brenda. Let me see who else we got. May, Roberto, Johnny, Vic, Denise, and I can go on and on and on. Latoya, Sanja, and Sonia, and Kenya. Thank you, Lisa, Charlotte, Lori. Thank you. So okay, so it's 7:43. Let's go and get this thing started. And before I get too started, let me go and put the cash app back on the chat so y'all can have it if y'all just want to get in the mood to do a little something while I'm talking. I think that's right. Okay. Did I spell that right? Yeah. All right. So what happened today is we had the Grand Prix race in front of the National Mall in Washington, D.C. And I told y'all that everything was based on this whole prophecy from Genesis 15:13, which said that God said our people would be afflicted in the land that's not ours for 400 years. So I said, if you add 400 years to 1619, because we were put into captivity on August 20th, 1619. Add 400 years to that, you have 2019 as in COVID-19. And then 7 means completion. So you add 7 years to that, and that would be 2026. And August 20th of 2026 was the last day of our enslavement. The following day, and what's crazy is that last day would be 8/20/26. And I said 46 means transition in power. So that's 8, which is infinity, plus 20 plus 26, which is 46. So that means that the transition of wealth is going to be transitioned to us forever, right? That also means that um, your debtor status now turns into a creditor status. How soon? I'm sure y'all like this better be happening first thing Monday morning. I get that. But I also said, I don't know how it's going to change. I said that, but I said start looking for it by the time of the end of the race because everything in threes. So 3 days after the end of our enslavement would be today, which is August 23rd, 2026. And what that is Trump. He before the race began, he took his presidential car, which is also known or nicknamed the Beast. And y'all know what I said about the Beast, right? Because I also said opposite of 46 is 64, and 64 is the Beast. You remember in the Super Bowl, Bad Bunny had on the 64. And I also was telling your girl, ain't no fun when the rabbit got the gun. That's why they call him Bad Bunny. But it was 64, and 64 represents the Beast. Just like in Genesis 6:4, it talks about the giants or the Nephilim in the Bible. Genesis 6:4 is 64. So that's the Beast. And if you go off of Highway 14 coming off of I-65 as you're going towards the headquarters for the KKK, exit 14 is white supremacy. It takes you to Highway Route 64. Now, somebody who was from that area, which is Pulaski, Tennessee, I think they tried to challenge me on it, but I remember seeing it. So I don't know. If they're from there and they think it's slightly different, that's fine. But they couldn't deny that 64 was down that way. So anyway, Trump took the Beast and gave it a final lap today. And that was the opening before they started the ceremony. Now, it also says in the Bible, and this is in Revelations, I can't quote the verse, but it also says in the Bible that in the last days, you're going to hear the trumpets, which is the trump, right? So when Trump got to the finish line, there were 7 trumpeters, because I believe in the Bible, it talks about 7 trumpets. So there were 7 trumpeters at the end of the Beast finishing that line. All right, so they originally had scheduled the race to be for 125 laps, but they added 22. Well, in numerology, V, and I'm doing it this way for a purpose, V is the 22nd letter of the alphabet. And I don't know if y'all ever heard me before, but V represents Egypt of the West. Africa is Egypt of the East. So everything that's opposite of here, Africa would be not like this, because that's the inverted pyramid. It's like that. That's the regular pyramid. That's the upright pyramid, right? So the winner of this evening's or this afternoon's Indy race was Kyle Kyle Kirkwood, right? Now remember, I said everything in reverse. So he had that pyramid right here on his uniform. But over here, he had the H as in Honda, right? He had the H. Then you know that there's a reversal. So if you reverse the pyramid, boom, Egypt of the West, right? And the name of the team he was representing was Sam's Club. Well, what I tell y'all about Sam? One, I told you that the country was founded by Samuel Adams. I also said that you have Uncle Who, Sam, right? And Sam is the opposite of Abraham. So they were traveling and they did, because let me go back to that 125 laps. They initially had 125 laps, but they added 22. So if you add 22 to 125, you got 147. What did I just say about 407 years? Take the zero out, don't you have 47? But what I also said is 10 means God's promise and God's word. And if you have 10 of God's promises, 10 times 10 is 100. And you add to 47, that's 147 laps. And I also said last week that you had the trial period. The trial period was 40 days, 40 nights, and 7 is completion. That's 47, as in 147 laps. That's what they did. Now, what does that mean for us? Because I said they did a reversal. He had a big old H on his uniform, right? And Kyle Kirkwood is KK. I ain't going KKK, y'all. KK. And K is the 11th letter. So it's 1111. And 1111, you can say 11 plus 11 is 22 as in Egypt of the West. Or you can say 1111 is snake eyes. And snake eyes mean it's the end for you, for them, so to speak. And this ain't no, let me clarify for the record. They ain't being racist. It's the end of somebody ruling over you. Let me say it that way. Now, again, his name, the name of the company he represented was Sam's. Well, Sam in reverse is Mas. Mas in Spanish is more in English. So they were letting you know. And his race car was number 27. Now, y'all, some of y'all hit me up in my comments on some of the previous videos I did, and they said, well, man, 2 plus 7 is 9, and 9 means the end of something, the beginning of something new, which is correct. But we also know that 2 times 7 is 14, and if everything is in reverse now, the opposite of 14 is what? 41. So that happened. All right. So before the race even began, Melania had this this is so deep, because Melania had this helmet with the single 5-pointed star on it. At the bottom of the helmet, anybody can look this stuff up. Anybody can look this up. On the bottom of the helmet, it had Be Best. And everybody tripping on, what does she mean by Be Best? Y'all know that's code, don't you? All it means is it's the completion of the transition in power. Because completion is the number 7, and the transition of power is the number 46. So let's break down B, as in Be Best. B, the letter B is 2, A, B. Then you got E, A, B, C, D, E. So it's 2 plus 5. 2 plus 5 is 7. There's your completion right there, right? Then best, let's break it down. B is 2, E is 5. We just did that. There's your 7. S is 19. 19 and 7 is what? 26. And T is 20. 20 and 26 is 46 all day. That's why she said Be Best. So it's 7 is completion, and the transition of power is now complete, right? That's what happened. Now, the next thing, let me go to my notes. Because I know somebody was tripping, talking about They hit me up. You said on the other show that you were on, that when the national debt hits 41 trillion, that that's what the United States owes the American people. Hell yeah, I said that. But the national debt is over right now, as of this day, it's over 40 trillion. How off was I actually? And I said this damn near 4 or 5 months ago. How off was I really? And even if you wanted to just go with the 40 trillion, it's still your trial period is now being reversed back over to you, and it's still what the United States owes the American people. That's us. But I'm not off because the national debt is still climbing. And I did say once it hits 41 trillion, that's when they're going to shift it. Now, if I'm wrong, I don't care about being wrong. I just know that I see the pattern. And I don't like to mislead. Now, I do care about not misleading people, but I like to at least put y'all on the right path and get y'all to see the pattern. Now, I also said in one of my shows, I said it's called the Grand Prix race that they had was also known as the Indy race, right? And I said, let's look at it. Indy means what? Indigenous. But I also said it means Indiana. Now, what the hell is happening in Indiana? Power outage, right? And they've been without power going on 12 days. And they said power probably will not be restored until Tuesday. Tuesday would be exactly 14 days. Ain't that a freaking ritual? Because the opposite of 14 all day is what? 41. So they're letting you know that the power that once belonged to white supremacy is gone. And when the power is restored, it's ours. Where did I say Morocco was? Indiana. Now they said Memphis had a power outage yesterday. I also said Memphis is Lower Egypt, didn't I? And when the power is restored, it's being restored back to Egypt. I ain't making this stuff up, y'all. This is what's happening now. When they had this race, y'all can pull this up. They had a sponsor that said NTT all over the place, right? Well, N is 14, T is 20, T is 20. That would be 1440. 1440, right? Take the one out. We can bring that one back in as in 1,440. 400 represents the 400 years, and 40 represents the trial period. They're letting you know that this is the end of the race. And I'm looking at, let me see if I had anything else I really wanted to just bring up right away, because I took a few notes about it. I really went all into it right quick. But the reason why I wanted to go into some of this stuff is to kind of show you all, if you go back to the previous shows, you can see, you can start following the pattern yourself, and you can see that the story or the information, let me go with that word, information that I'm giving you is what? Consistent. And someone just posted Gary, Indiana. Thank you for that. Because I did tell you that Indiana is right off of Highway what? Highway Route 41. Memphis is off of Highway Route 41. All of it is. Well, Tennessee, let me say Tennessee. because I know as soon as you hit Tennessee and Kentucky, is Highway Route 41. But I do believe it takes you to Memphis. So all I'm saying is anything that has something to do with that is now being restored, right? And they're now talking about your boy Steph Curry going all the way to Miami Heat. Well, that's 305, area code 305, and 305 is the five tribes and everything in threes. And they were doing these little rituals, and the rituals were like they just reversing spells. Somebody had called me earlier and they were talking about, well, when is this stuff actually going to be over? I mean, do we have to wait another, few hundred years, or when is it going to happen? And I'm like, it's already happening. One of the things that someone else asked me, a friend named Sherry, I'm going to give you a shout out, Sherry. She said, do we have to do status correction? And I said, well, I don't really think you got to go in all that, because the government is already changing the status for you. One of the things that they've already done, just so I can tell y'all, is the Department of Vital Records has stopped issuing out the short form birth certificates in most states. Now, I don't know if that's all states, but I do know for a fact that most states stopped issuing the short form birth certificate. Well, the short form birth certificate, just so y'all know the difference, the long form was the one that your mother and or your father signed. So that's the one where they recognize your living mother and your living father and the living baby. Now, the short form was created 3 months after you were born. And what happened is, like I said in the last show, that if you're considered to be dead. So so once they put you in the public notices and nobody's claiming that baby after 30 days, you become that ward of the state. And then once the state gets hold to you, you have to now become a fiction, just like the state is a fiction. So they made that name in all capital letters on that short form birth certificate, like RIP on the tombstone, to make you dead. So now that you're dead, then you're entitled to certain benefits and privileges. You no longer have rights, not any real rights, inherent rights, because you, as an Aboriginal, indigenous to this land, had all the birth rights, and you were actually the law of the land. They stole that from you. They even threatened you with jail time if you didn't sign the birth certificate, right? And they got rid of those midwives and all that stuff. But going back to what, I was having that conversation with Sherry about, I said, well, they're already kind of changing the status thing anyway. So they removed the short form birth certificate out of circulation. So now they're only dealing with the living and not the dead. Okay. Then the next thing the post office has done, when you get your passport now, they're recognizing, they're still doing U.S. citizen stuff, right? Well, that's recognizing you as being dead. But they're also doing USA passports, or where they recognize you being an American. So you have to know what to get. And if you go in saying, I wanted to say United States of America, not United States citizen, the post office, I don't know if I don't think he's the postmaster general, but those people know, the management, upper level management, know exactly what you need to do to fill out that form correctly to get the kind of status that you're looking for now. Before, they weren't allowing you to do that. Now they are. Okay. So those are two status corrections that the government itself, well, post office is non-governmental. the post office is actually your highest court. It's the highest court over any and all courts. There's a reason why, and I'm gonna show you why. Because on your currency, the current fiat money, starting with the $1 bill, $2 bill, $5 bill, $10 bill, $20 bill, $50 bill, right? Let's stop right there. All those are presidents of the corporation, right? But on the $100 bill, you have Benjamin, as in Benjamin Franklin. He was never a president. He was the postmaster general. So it's letting you know that the highest court is not the government stuff, it's the post office. Right? So now that's what's going on with that part. So then they're changing your status. Now let's go to the real ID. I'm not really convinced to go get the real ID, but even the word itself, real ID, is taking you from that fictional world to the real world. That's why they're calling it real ID. Now, what does that also mean? On the real ID, they have the single 5-pointed star on the upper right-hand side. That single 5-pointed star represents the Moorish government. So they already are starting to, gradually move towards status correction. Gradually. Now, I'd rather have the passport that says American and stop right there. Because once you have the passport, I don't know if you really even need to have that driver's license stuff. I don't know, because everything, see, they're going to start dismissing these judges and lawyers, and they're going to start having to retrain them over the next couple of years to learn common law. And common law is going to be protected under the Constitution. So once they start doing that, that's status correction. I mean, I know some of the brothers and sisters in here might not totally agree with that, but it's gradually moving towards more status correction, if you understand what I'm saying. Because what they're doing is they're recognizing the original Constitution, the original Constitution before 1871. They're also recognizing your rights, and they're doing away with statutes, codes, rules, regulations, ordinances, and acts, because that's not law. It's color of law, because it looks like law, but it ain't real law. It's really more administrative stuff that they're doing. So that's about to change, and they have to retrain these people. Now, some of them will actually be going to prison or something like that, because they did so much egregious abandonment of the Constitution that they're going to have to pay for what they've done. I don't know to what degree. Some people saying, whatever they're saying. I don't want to say it on YouTube, but they're talking about something pretty not good. And some of them talking about some serious prison time. So that may be happening. I don't know. But they're still gradually changing your status. That's the bottom line. Now, someone asked me to just post my Cash App again. I'm going to do that again. Hold on. If y'all have it, please just post it for me. I think that's correct. So yeah, if y'all wish to send a nice little gift or donation, I'm not going to hold you back. You're always welcome. Even if you don't see me on live, just feel like showing the brother some love for, at least the information that I bring you, because the best thing that I've been able to do is share my gift and share my information. And one thing that I love is that the older people in this chat have been saying to me, you know what? You genuine, you just tell the truth. You give us the information, we can look it up. We actually see that what you've been saying for the most part is 100% correct. And that matters. And some of them have even made comments that I've learned so much just listening to you within these last few weeks or last few months than I ever learned in my entire life. And I'm like, wow, I'm blown away with that. I'm blown away with that. And one thing I'm gonna tell y'all for this, I am not no freaking Nostradamus. I am not no prophet. I don't think I'm a prophet. I don't think whatever it is. All I am is a child of the Most High, and I believe in treating people right. I believe in treating people good, and I believe in good karma. You know, and that's all I can do. I have believe it or not, I have a small world of friends. You know, the friends that I grew up with, I known them for a lifetime, and you know, I have several associates, but friends are people that I really trust and know that they got my back and I got theirs, and, and that's just my life. I don't, you know, I cherish my family. Um, you know, and we all have, everyone has a bad seed in their family, but for the most part, I cherish my entire family, and I cherish my ancestors, especially my mother and father, that have done so much for all of us, and they and have done for a lot of people who weren't even family, and just giving back to people when they could. And that's what I want to do, is just keep on giving to the people who have shown me love, and even the ones who haven't even, you know, and I'm not saying you have to make a donation for a brother to show you love. I just, you know, want to thank the ones that have, and I want to thank the ones that just been laying low, sharing my videos and sharing this information. So that's showing me love too, and I'm grateful for that. But I was trying to think of, somebody else was trying to touch on another topic, and it was outside of status correction. It was outside of this race. I don't know if anybody picked number 27. I picked number 51, and I was wrong. But if I had noticed, see what I didn't get a chance to see before the race began, I probably would have picked Sam's Club, that car by Sam's Club, which was number 27, because I knew I would have seen the symbols and I said, oh, they doing a reversal. But I didn't see any of the cars prior to the race, so I didn't know. So you know, anybody pick 27? Someone said they picked 47. Yeah, that probably would have been my second pick or something. I would have picked something like 51, 10, 57, or even 3. And none, I don't think any of those came in. Yeah. You say you picked 47 too? Yeah. So I'm not going to be on too much longer, but I want us to say, you know, thank you. And what we should be looking for from here on out is, you're more than likely going to be hearing some breaking news. And the breaking news should happen within 3 days from today. I mean, like some serious breaking news. But you might start hearing it this evening or even tomorrow. But it's going to start being more things. Oh, let me bring this one up. Someone had pointed out to me that the director of HUD came to Nashville, Tennessee the other day. And didn't I tell y'all that Nashville was going to be the capital of the world's commerce? And I broke down what HUD was. I said H as in HUD was the reversal. And HUD is also known as Section 8. And I broke down HUD, and I broke down the number 8 with HUD. H is 8. U is 21. So that's 29. D is 4. 4 and 29 is 33. And then 8 as in section 8, you add that to 33, you got 41. So they were letting you know, oh, I got something else to bring up. I'm so glad I'm talking about this. So you have the director of housing letting you know that the real estate is now coming from DC to the new government. And the new government is Tennessee. And I said the capital of the new government is Nashville. The Titans happen to be playing tonight the Seattle Seahawks. So I just said HUD equals 41, and 41 means king. Then I also said that Seattle, the county for Seattle is King County. So, oh man, everything in threes. And then the brother from the Five Heartbeats they said he died, and his name was Eddie King Jr. And I said, a king must fall for another to rise. Everything in threes. So you had the HUD, the Seahawks, and Eddie King. All happened just like boom, boom, boom. And he was 70. And I know I may not have talked about this on my show, but 70 means a reset. Just like you have 7 is completion, but 70 is a reset. And 70 is also the Jubilee year. It's a reset. So, someone said Eddie Kane. Well, I looked up his name on the credits, and the credits actually said Eddie King. But I hear you. But everybody said Eddie Kane because he was, on that cocaine. That's why they said Eddie Kane. But anyway, it said Eddie King Jr. But the 5 heartbeats, what are the 5 heartbeats? The 5 civilized tribes. So we're going back to that. So when I think about the next thing that's really going to take place, Trump is going to start making some announcements, and they're going to finally pass the Clarity Act. Once they and the Save America Act. The Save America Act is the big one on the table because it's saving the American people from this government that we're in. That's what it really means. And then they're going to start shifting the control of the money or the wealth to the American people. And the American people are the copper-colored people. And you have some naturalized Americans, that may have come from other places and been born here. I don't know what that looks like. I'm not going to even go there. I'm just talking about the ones that I know are the true American indigenous people. They're going to start doing the dividend checks. Don't know how much they're going to be, but I can imagine. Let me see. If somebody can do math for me right quick. You got 15 million American people. And I'm not including anybody but the copper-colored people. So you got 15 million. No, I'm wrong. You have, I think it's 41 million. And it's 15% of the population. Okay, I got that wrong. I want to say it's 41 million. Y'all look that up. And then you divide that by 41 trillion. And then you can see how much each household gonna get. So if anybody can do that math right quick, y'all pull that up for me. Do that math, and I love to see what that looks like. because y'all gonna trip on that, and then you can see what those dividend checks probably gonna end up being, because it's gonna be in the millions, y'all. It's gonna be in the millions, and they're gonna come probably over the next, I don't know, shit, for the rest of your life, and then it just passes down generationally. So your children and children's children are gonna be well off, and that's how they're gonna roll. Um, it's gonna be good. But anyway, did anybody pull it up? Nobody wants to do no math tonight. Okay. Yeah. See, someone pulled it up for me. Michael Wright as Eddie King Jr. That's what I thought. They called him Eddie King because they thought that because he was doing cocaine. So it was Eddie King. So that's what we're looking at. So anyway, Eddie King passed, which is Michael Wright, 70 years old. Then you had HUD director coming to Nashville. HUD in Section 8, that equals 41. Now the Seahawks are playing the Titans. I don't know. I believe they're in Seattle. So they're in King County, but there's a reversal happening. And we're going to be good. We're going to be good. So I'm going to probably come back on with some more breaking news in the next day or so. And I pray that most people were able to get this live, because I just really wanted to break down what happened with the race, because we talked about it, and I just wanted to kind of fill y'all in on that. Yeah. Today is Kobe Bryant's birthday. Okay, so guess what? Kobe died at the age of 41. And the Powerball the day that Kobe Bryant died was 141 million. Look it up. 141 million transitioning power. I remember that vividly because I was in the car with my son, and we were looking at that, and we were like, "Oh my God!" Yeah. So anyway, lots of love, and I appreciate you. And again, my Cash App is $ all rights reserved. And if you wish to also, hit me up via email, it's dejurelaw33@gmail.com. That's DEJURELAW, the number 33@gmail.com. Oh, in fact, at that race tonight or this afternoon, there were 33 cars. They were letting you know it was a Masonic ritual. It was 33 cars. Yep. Doing 147 laps. Then we at the end of the trial period, and we're at the end of the race. The race is over. So now we're just going into something new from here on out. And let me say this. Oh, I'm glad I thought about it. Because of the fact they're showing you that Indiana had lost power. They're showing you that Memphis had lost power. Y'all, these are test runs for the rest of the country. And they only gave those people in Indiana, Gary, Indiana, the home of the king, Michael Jackson. So that's another king, y'all. And that's off of 41. They only gave those people $100 vouchers. And what the hell were those people going to do with a $100 voucher? Because you have to remember now, during the daytime, it's probably burning hot. And they're uncomfortable in their homes. The food went bad probably by the third or fourth day. The food was already going bad. What are they going to do with a $100 voucher and you got 3 or 4 people in the household? That ain't happening. So the only thing they could probably do is probably put some gas in the car and keep themselves cool and have some water and some snacks until this thing, passes over. But be ready, because, and what I mean by that is, have you enough perishable food, non-perishable food, have enough water, and just be ready. Just be ready. I mean, if you have to have first aid kit, if you have to have any other, have your medicine. Make sure your medicine is all current and filled up, because it's going to be something that's going to happen where we may not have access to anything. And not having access may last, it could last, 10 days, it could last 30 days. And I saw some people posting that it could be an outage as long as 18 months. I don't personally believe that, but if it does, man, are we going to be in trouble? Because none of us are really prepared for what's about to happen. So y'all just, do what you got to do. And lots of love to you. And I hope to be hearing from y'all soon with some real positive news. Positive news. And I pray that it's no serious blackouts happening. I hope it's no more than 3 days, like they said, the 3 days of darkness, and we're able to get past this thing and the shift is complete and we're ready to roll. So, okay. So anyway, much love. Thank you. And y'all hit me up and share the videos, like the videos, and this roll. Thank you so much. Good night.